We'll say to help people understand, because both can work, right? Like you said earlier, let's say it's a bad franchise, then why you wouldn't want to buy it would be it's not predictably making a profit for the franchisee, even though the franchisor is still in business because they're making their money off revenue. So it's not predictable, it's not there, and you're putting up $250,000 to $500,000 to buy this opportunity to make no money. It's crazy.
I'm Dennis.
And I'm Greg.
And this is the More Profit, Less Stress podcast,
where we provide the tools for more profit and less stress in your business now so you can turn into a valuable asset later.
Well, and then you add a complexity in there. If the average business makes 5% net profit, but the average franchise fee is 5%.
Yeah.
Well, then already when you bought the franchise, you set yourself up to do zero.
Yeah.
And now most franchises don't operate at 5%. They also add in a 2.5% to a 5% marketing fee,
right?
Depending on how it's structured, where they say, well, we'll market for you. And part of what you think you're buying is the fact that they're going to do all of this marketing for you, but 2.5% and $100,000 is not a lot for them to go play with to help you market more.
Right.
So it's one of those things when you walk into it, you better be very careful. And my experience is the vast majority of franchisees that I've worked with, the franchisor has a great system for selling the food or the stuff that they bring to market, but almost none of them have a really detailed business training side of things.
Yeah, none. Yeah, or very few. Agreed. And even lots of them might actually be, they make a great ice cream, or they make a great coffee, or some kind of unique bench, or whatever, right? A product, a service, whatever it is. So they're good at it. And maybe the customers are like, hey, we love that. And their friends are like, oh my gosh, that's great. You should franchise that. The issue is at that moment in time, to your point, they don't have the business acumen or system to make it profitable. But everybody says, but customers love it. This is the greatest thing. Well, let's franchise it. Yeah. So this is, and I guess
which is great if you're the franchisor in a way.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reason why there's a lot of businesses that will jump straight to franchising. Because as a franchisor, it's a really good way to get cash injections is to sell somebody the franchise.
Right.
I was having a conversation with someone on LinkedIn about they have this business that they're doing. I said, oh man, congratulations on your first 2 or 3 pilot stores to really know that this thing works. And he goes, well, we actually haven't even launched one business yet. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, we just have this really great concept for this service. We're going to provide this and this and this. This is what we're going to call it. So we're going to go talk to a franchise lawyer, get the franchise agreement, and we're going to start selling these franchises. And I'm like, but you haven't even hit your proof of concept.
No.
You haven't shown that you have a single location that can make money yet, but you're going to go sell all these franchises. And there's actually a lot of franchises that can start that way because it doesn't actually require an operating location. It just requires a contract.
Yeah, it is. It's a, and that's what I was going to say, something similar. I was going to quantify that franchising can be really good, and we should talk about that in a few minutes. But
well, I mean, there's some very good franchises, very good ones.
Exactly. But the majority, to your point earlier, don't do well for the franchisee, and it goes back to they do a really good job of their thing. People are like, oh, you should go provide that product or service to more people, so franchise because other people should be able to do it. Great. And then the new franchisee comes in, there's no proof of concept, and they start operating and they don't make money. And the worst thing is that maybe they make that 10 to 30 grand a year wage, no profit. It's like, well, gee, knock on wood, maybe next year will be better. And they just keep going. And they just and then they finally have some years where they don't make money, or they get fed up and they want out because their spouse is like, hey, you spent $300,000 of our assets to open this thing and you're making 20 grand a year. This isn't working out. So then they get frustrated and the person's like, okay, well, we got to sell. And then they sell the next person who thinks, oh, knock on wood, it's going to be better next year. And it's just this cycle. And back to your point, it's because they don't have the business acumen or proof of concept. They didn't. Now, the flip side is it can be really good for people who can't figure out the business acumen. If you join a franchise where they've got proof of concept, the franchisees are making money. So there's your litmus
And by the way,
test.
making money, not making revenue.
Yeah. And making a profit after a wage.
Right.
So if you're ever thinking about buying a franchise, phone a bunch of them, talk to the owners. Now they're probably not going to give you the truth because they don't.
Franchisees might.
Hopefully.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean franchisees. I'm saying they might not give you the truth because
they don't want to admit to a bad mistake.
And they don't want the word to get back to the franchisor.
Right.
If you phone a number of franchisees in a chain and they all go take the chance, mortgage your house, sell your house and buy one. Like literally sell your house, buy one. You'll make enough money. You can buy 2 homes. Like if they use those kind of words, probably a good system, right? They're making money. The system's there. They're happy. Awesome. But if they're kind of avoiding saying, well, it stinks, don't do it. They're just kind of like, yeah, it's okay. It's because they don't want this to come back that the franchisor hears they badmouth them. But if you phone a bunch and they're not tooting the horn, that's telling you something.
Well, and from what you're highlighting to right now, how many franchisees just end up being major store manager employees basically for a franchisor?
Yeah.
Right. So they set off for this independence thing and now they're beholden to somebody else. And if you're not really reading your franchise agreement through because you're like, well, my lawyer told me to sign it, and you haven't read it through, have you considered how the different ways are that they can get rid of you?
Yeah.
Right. Not only just get rid of you, but get rid of you and keep your stuff. Get rid of you. So there's a lot of risk to going into a wrong franchise. There's a lot of gain to going into a good franchise.
Yeah. And actually, that's a good point. I love that. There's a lot of risk in a wrong, a lot of gain in a good. And quite frankly, there's probably not a lot in between.
Not a lot in between.
Yeah, I agree. From my experience, like yours, it's either crap or really good. So you gotta be careful. And to your point about the franchise agreements, we've had this experience with sometimes clients coming in. They're like, oh, well, I can buy this thing, and they're willing to negotiate on the agreement. What does that tell you when they're willing to negotiate on the agreement?
That not everything's copacetic already.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and if now it's telling you got, say, 50 franchises and they all have different agreements, something wrong. I smell a rat. Like they're desperate. I love what you said earlier about you become a staff member to them basically, or a manager, because you're making some measly wage. You can't make a profit, but the franchisor is making that 5 to 10% every single month. So then someone says to the franchisor, well, it's not that successful. And they're like, yeah, it is. I got, 10
50
or
locations.
50 or 100 franchisees paying me this every month. I'm making good money. It's working, but it's not working for the franchisees. And
the franchisor makes his percentage off the revenue,
yeah,
not off the margins or off of anything else. But there are people who do make franchises work. Like there are certain cultures where the family all works within the franchise, so there's way lower overheads.
Yeah.
But my argument back is, if my overhead has to be so low for me to make money, was it ever actually successful?
Yeah.
So I think if you're looking for a franchise, if that's what you want to get into, you need to treat it like any other investment you would get into. Number one, research the crap out of the industry you're trying to get into. Like if it's, my opinion is simply this: if it is a franchise in a trade, why would you buy it? Unless there's something exceptional on the business management side or something absolutely out of this world on the marketing side.
Lafarge would be good.
That you're able to get out of it. Well, I don't know if Lafarge is.
It's a franchise.
So but again, you better research the crap out of it to know. But I'm not going to buy Jimmy's Plumbing franchise or a franchise that says, hey, by the way, if you're here, Dennis, you get this exclusive territory. Nobody else from our industry or from our franchise gets that territory, but that doesn't knock out everybody else in that territory.
Exactly.
So you need to do the research of what you're looking for, why you're looking for it, and treat it like any other investment. You might think to yourself, like, flipping real estate's a great investment, but you decide to put a multi-million-dollar home in an average of a $500,000 home neighborhood. You're not going to get your return on that house. Doesn't matter how fancy you make it.
Yeah.
It's a bad place to invest. So look at the franchise you want to get into and ask yourself, is buying the franchise really cheaper than me going out there and just starting one up of my own? Because it's going to actually cost you less.
Yeah.
Because when you're struggling and you got to write that 5 to 7% check every single month, or worse, it's just taken right out of your bank account and you don't have a chance to even process it, and most businesses don't make any money, that's a huge kick in the face before you finally start turning that thing around.
It's a good, let's hypothetically now, let's kind of argue both points, we'll say, like to help people understand, because both can work, right? Like you said earlier. Let's say it's a bad franchise. Then why you wouldn't want to buy it would be it's not predictably making a profit for the franchisee, even though the franchisor is still in business because they're making their money off revenue. So it's not predictable, it's not there. And you're putting up $250,000 to $500,000 to buy this opportunity to make no money. It's crazy.
Thanks for listening to the More Profit, Less Stress podcast. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform and leave a comment or review if you're feeling generous. To learn more about us and what we do, check out our website. Until next time, take care.